talked about humanitarian pauses, and we're interested in pursuing language on that score, but there are disagreements within the Council about whether that's acceptable.
We emphasize the need for the Security Council to act with urgency and adopt a meaningful and actionable resolution. Over the past couple of weeks, members of the Security Council have been working tirelessly to this end. We call for an urgent humanitarian ceasefire.
We reiterate the need for the parties to take measures to ensure the safety and well-being of civilians and their protection, as well as humanitarian and medical personnel, UN personnel, and journalists. Wars have rules, and they must be upheld. Thank you.
This is desperately needed to enable full, rapid, safe, and unhindered humanitarian access, including for UN and humanitarian personnel, consistent with international humanitarian law. We urge all parties to take steps urgently towards a cessation of hostilities to ensure the protection of civilians. We demand that the parties to the conflict facilitate the continuous, sufficient, and unhindered provision of essential goods and services to all civilians throughout the Gaza Strip. These must include electricity, water, fuel, food, and medical supplies, sustained and at scale.
And the crisis on the ground as well. I think the most pressing need on the ground, which all council members have recognized, is the urgent humanitarian need. But I think the bigger problem, which also many council members have recognized, is that without a cessation of hostilities or some kind of humanitarian truce that is immediately implemented, far too many civilians have already lost their lives, and far too many more will continue to lose their lives unless that is put into place. But those are some of the parameters of where the gaps in the discussion exist, and I think the conversations are ongoing to try and have impact on the ground.
Gaza is becoming a graveyard for children. Hundreds of girls and boys are reportedly being killed or injured every day. More journalists have reportedly been killed over a 4-week period than in any conflict in at least 3 decades. More United Nations aid workers have been killed than in any comparable period in the history of our organization. I salute all those who continue their life-saving work despite the overwhelming challenges and risks. The way forward is clear. A humanitarian ceasefire now. All parties respecting all their obligations under international humanitarian law now. This means the unconditional release of the hostages in Gaza now.